Hello, IELTS winners. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how sometimes even very good English speakers and people who come from excellent English speaking background commit errors and lose marks. So here I've strike through all these incorrect phrases and sentences, and I'll do corrections here in front of you. So let's see. The topic is some parents prefer sending their children to school, others prefer homeschooling. Discuss both views and tell your preference. So we are supposed to make a comparison between sending to school and homeschooling, and what could be the different reasons, and then you're supposed to give your view. Let's look at this essay critically. This person has rewritten the essay and there's still some errors here and there, which may lead to you losing marks and scoring less than 7. There are unique benefits of attending a school and homeschooling. This essay and of homeschooling. So we'll say and of homeschooling. So that will be better. I'll just keep on marking them in some color. So of homeschooling. This essay will argue in favor of sending children to school. All right. There are understandable reasons for parents sending their children to school. There are understandable reasons for parents sending their children to school. For parents sending their children to school. A better way would be, a better sentence instead of this would be, there are understandable reasons. There are understandable reasons why parents to send their children to school. There are understandable reasons for parents sending their children to school, for parents to send their children to school. Now, you can see, it just sounds a little better. That's it. So I'll make this correction here. For parents to send their children to school. Okay, one of the biggest reasons is the holistic development and positive competition among children. The second reason is learning not only from, now see, what is required here. It's not a big mistake, but then this is required. You have to put a comma here. You cannot, the second reason is learning, not is learning. The second reason is, so you are putting this phrase, the second reason is, comma, learning not only from teachers and, but then too many commas would not make sense. So I'm simply making learning not only from teachers, but also from classmates. Another consideration is being, is again a comma here. So, we do not commit many mistakes, as I always say, we commit the same mistake many times. Is being involved in extracurricular activities and fostering social interactions. Now, we are talking about two different things. So you would rather than and fostering social interactions. Co-curricular activities is different and social interactions is a different thing. So in order to correct it, what will you do? You'll again put a comma here. So let me just put a comma at this place, which is again an important point. Now see, it's not that we are committing many mistakes, we are committing the same mistake many times, not separating different phrases with comma. Being and fostering social interactions through various hobby clubs. For instance, after school hours, children can again, so when you are in a flow, you need to have these kind of commas. When somebody is reading it, he may get mixed up if these commas are not there. Because in writing, you cannot use voice intonation or intonation simply to specify what you want to say. So you have to put some punctuations. Okay. So after school hours, comma, children can enroll themselves in hobby classes, again a comma. Either in or either in or outside school, either in or outside school. This also allows them to meet more children of their age group and make new friends outside their usual known circle. Furthermore, schools have required infrastructure to support learning via well-equipped labs, libraries, sports auditorium, and other facilities. In addition, children will also have a fixed routine to study and devote additional time for their hobbies to pursue. On the flip side, homeschooling might not help in inculcating the required discipline. Firstly, children would stay in isolation, hence detaching them from social interaction. Now, this kind of structure is very confusing. What you should do instead. So, why should you use difficult structures? Make it very simple and idiot proof. So, firstly, children would stay in isolation, detaching. There is no need to say hence. Simply put a participle clause detaching them from social interactions. So, remove hence. I'll just write remove hence. Remove hence, which was unnecessarily causing confusion there. So, remove hence. Just put a comma, detaching them from social interactions. Social contact is imperative in encouraging children, not in encouraging children. It should be to encourage children. Right. So, I'll again click on this. To encourage children is important. Yeah. To encourage children rather than saying in encouraging children, to encourage children to have a sense of belonging, allowing them to confide in others, being self-aware, handling difficult situations, etc. Allowing them, okay. For example, a homeschooler might not perform better in absence of, what do you mean by this? So this is, what is an example? This is not an example. This is just a generalization, right? An example is something which is from the real world to which you can directly relate to. So this doesn't qualify as an example. In absence of any competition. Allowing them to confide in others, being self-aware, handling difficult situations, etc. So, it's got a little mixed up. You should write it in very, very simple manner. This example, I can understand it does connect with it, but then I have to make an effort to read what was said earlier to connect to it. And that makes this essay less cohesive. Use examples or use verbiage which directly relates to what is said. So how can we change it is the question. So let me just select this and cut this first, and I'll say social contact is imperative to encourage children to have a sense of belonging, allowing them to confide in others, being self-aware, handling difficult situations. Yeah, so in fact, there is no need of example. Because you're talking about advantages of going to school and you're giving an example of yeah, so this is the problem. You are talking about advantage of going to school and giving the example of staying at home. This is incorrect. So you have to tell the same thing here. Social interaction is imperative. So instead of this, you should talk about students who stay at home do not get a chance to interact with each other. And yeah, that's it. Put that example. So yeah, you've got the idea. I mean, the whole structure is jumbled because of this confusion. And you should stick to one point rather than talking about all the points together. Like, for example, If you're talking about homeschooling, then talk about disadvantages of homeschooling itself. This is confusing otherwise. Secondly, homeschoolers might have difficulty making new friends. So yeah, and I mean, why can't we just talk about homeschooling and disadvantages of homeschooling itself if you want to? Yeah. In conclusion, attending school is a better choice. And the conclusion should be very direct rather than writing a lot of things in conclusion. Just make it very, very simple and straightforward. So that's what it is. Whenever you write an essay, make sure that you use proper punctuations and um, the sentences, the examples, and the claim and the context matches the evidence. The evidence should be related to the context. Yeah. So I think that those are some important points which you have to take care of.